They say love is blind, but power sees everything. And if you think the woman in your life will never test your strength, you are already failing the first test. Machiavelli knew the truth. Relationships are not ruled by love alone. They are ruled by leverage. A woman will test a man not because she hates him, but because she needs to know if he can lead. Pass her test, and she will follow. Fail, and she will strip you of your authority before you realize what happened. This video exposes Machiavelli's exact trick for testing her before she tests you, protecting your power, your respect, and your place on the throne. Machiavelli didn't just write about politics. He understood human nature in its raw, ruthless form. While his book The Prince was meant for rulers, his lessons apply to every man who wants to protect his power, especially in relationships. Because here's the truth. A woman can strip a man's power faster than any political rival, and most men never see it coming. The most dangerous threat is not the obvious enemy. It's the one smiling beside you, praising you, even sharing your bed. Machiavelli knew loyalty is always conditional, even from those who swear it's eternal. In his time, kings were overthrown not only by armies but by the people closest to them. The same principle applies to your personal life today. Machiavelli's trick was simple. Never trust appearances. Test loyalty before it matters. Most men do the opposite. They assume loyalty, trust blindly, and only realize the truth when betrayal has already done the damage. By then, it's too late. The bank account is drained, the reputation is ruined, the power is gone. Here's where Machiavelli's mind was different. He believed relationships are not built on trust, they are maintained through control and constant evaluation. He understood that love, respect, and loyalty are never guaranteed. They exist only when they serve someone's interest. If the balance shifts, so does their allegiance. A woman's attraction and loyalty often follow the same brutal law. Imagine you are a prince in Renaissance Italy. You have allies, servants, even a queen at your side. Machiavelli would whisper in your ear, "Test her before she tests you." This wasn't paranoia, it was survival. The same applies now. In the modern world, the weapons have changed laws, social media, public opinion, but the core danger remains. His method was not about accusing or attacking. That only creates open hostility. His trick was subtler, more surgical. He believed in controlled situations designed to reveal true motives. You create a scenario where she believes you are vulnerable, where she can gain at your expense, but you watch her reaction closely. If she takes the bait, you've seen her real face. If she resists, you know she has at least some loyalty worth keeping. Why is this necessary? Because words are cheap. Anyone can promise they will stay with you no matter what. History is filled with examples of powerful men destroyed by women who swore eternal love but left the moment a better opportunity appeared. Julius Caesar trusted Cleopatra. Samson trusted Delilah. Kings, generals, and billionaires, undone not by their enemies, but by those they loved. Machiavelli knew that testing early prevents losing everything later. The modern man thinks testing is toxic or insecure. That's exactly why modern men lose more often. They treat relationships like safe spaces instead of power dynamics. They forget that desire and loyalty shift with circumstances. And when you forget that, you become prey. Here's the problem. When you are at your peak, successful, confident, and admired, you will attract women who want the man, but also the lifestyle, the influence, the security. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, until those things fade. Then you discover whether she was with you or just the benefits. Machiavelli's trick separates the two before it's too late. You might simulate a loss, you might deny a favor, you might put her in a position where standing by you costs her something. Her response tells you more than months of sweet words or intimate nights. You learn if she sees you as a man to respect or a resource to exploit. This isn't about cruelty, it's about reality. Power attracts attention. Attention attracts opportunists. And opportunists can look, sound, and even act like loyal partners, until the day staying with you no longer serves them. Machiavelli knew the wise man never assumes loyalty. He proves it, he verifies it, he tests it. The tragedy is that most men only discover the truth when they've already been weakened. Divorce settlements, public scandals, career sabotage, these are just modern versions of what Machiavelli saw in his time. Rulers brought down not by open rebellion, but by betrayal from the one person they thought they could trust. By the end of this lesson you will know how to apply Machiavelli's method, not to destroy relationships, but to protect your power, your resources, and your sanity. Because if you think love alone will protect you, you are walking blindfolded toward a trap. And the woman setting it may not even see herself as an enemy. She may simply be acting in her own interest, the same way you must act in yours. Machiavelli's world was filled with beautiful lies. Ours is no different. The difference is that he never mistook a smile for loyalty. He knew that a wise man asks one question over and over. If she had to choose between me and her own advantage, what would she pick? The trick is to find the answer before she has the chance to make that choice in real life. That is the first step. Understanding that the test is not optional, it is survival. And in the next segment, I will show you exactly how Machiavelli's test works so you can uncover the truth before it destroys you. Machiavelli knew men often revealed weakness not in battle, but in the quiet war of personal relationships. A man's power rarely falls in one dramatic blow. It is taken piece by piece. And it usually starts with a woman subtly testing the boundaries, not through aggression, but through calculated observation. She will not confront you outright. She will study you, probe your reactions, and assess your resolve without a word. This is not cruelty. It is nature's silent selection process, where the weak are discarded and the strong endure. The test often arrives disguised as harmless behavior, a request that pushes your limits, a playful insult to measure your pride, or a sudden change in tone to gauge your emotional control. Machiavelli's wisdom teaches that the true danger lies not in the act itself, but in your immediate and unguarded reaction. The moment you hesitate, overcompensate, or explain yourself unnecessarily, you lose ground. The instant you break the rhythm of calm, composed dominance, the test is over, and you have failed. A man must never allow these moments to pass unnoticed. The wise keep a mental ledger, recording every subtle challenge and responding not with anger but with strategic indifference. This indifference is not coldness, it is a display of unshakable command over one's own emotions. The more unpredictable your response is, the harder it is for her to map your weaknesses. Machiavelli knew that mystery keeps power alive. Predictability is the death of it. Your aim is not to win every interaction. Your aim is to remain untouchable, to show through action, not explanation, that you control the pace and the tone. You accept no frame but your own. By standing firm, without overreacting, you force her to adapt to you instead of you bending to her. This is how you silently pass the test and maintain your place as the dominant force in the relationship. Machiavelli understood that the most dangerous position for a man is always being the one tested. If you are only reacting to her moves, you have already given her the frame of power. A true strategist flips the board. He sets the test before she even realizes a game has begun. This way, she reveals her intentions before she ever gets close enough to undermine you. The key is subtlety. A test is not an interrogation. It is a quiet situation you create that forces her true character to surface. Machiavelli's version was elegant. Present her with an opportunity where she must choose between loyalty and self-interest, without her knowing you are watching. Give her the freedom to act, but ensure that her choice is recorded in your mind as fact, not assumption. For example, you might withdraw a small privilege you previously gave her without explanation. Observe how she reacts. Does she grow resentful, start to manipulate, or try to reassert control through seduction? Or does she remain composed, respecting your decision without protest? This one moment tells you more about her nature than months of pleasant words. Another method is controlled vulnerability. You reveal a small, harmless piece of personal weakness, not a real one but a crafted one. Watch whether she protects it or exploits it. If she uses it against you in conversation, even playfully, she has shown her hand. Machiavelli's point was simple. Trust is earned by action, not by declarations of affection. Once she has shown her nature, you must respond decisively. If she passes, reward her subtly. More time, more attention, more access. If she fails, withdraw. Do not explain, do not argue. Silence is more powerful than justification. A man who can remove without warning holds the ultimate control. This is not cruelty. It is the preservation of sovereignty. Machiavelli never sugarcoated the truth. Once power slips, regaining it is difficult, but not impossible. Most men fail because they attempt to reclaim power through explanation or negotiation. This is a fatal mistake. Once you explain, you beg, and once you beg, you confirm that she was right to test you in the first place. To regain lost ground, you must first change the terms of engagement. Stop playing the same game you were losing. If she has grown accustomed to you being reactive, go silent. If she expects constant validation, withdraw it entirely. Disrupt the rhythm she has built. Machiavelli knew that power thrives in unpredictability. By breaking the pattern, you force her to adjust to your pace again. The second move is controlled scarcity. Do not vanish completely, but limit your access. Cut down on availability without explanation. This creates tension and forces her to invest energy into regaining your attention. Power shifts to the one who is pursued, not the one who chases. Every interaction from this point forward must subtly reinforce that you are not competing for her favor. She is competing for yours. Finally, introduce new sources of perceived value into your life. This could be new pursuits, alliances, or social opportunities. The point is to show without saying that your worth does not depend on her approval. The moment she senses that you thrive without her, the balance changes. Machiavelli's brilliance lay in understanding that attraction and respect are bound to the perception of independence. Regaining power is not about dominating every moment. It is about making your presence and attention scarce enough to be valued again. The less you demand her recognition, the more she feels the need to give it freely. And when that moment comes, you do not glow to remind her of past failures. You accept her return without ceremony, silently confirming that the throne was always yours. Machiavelli's final and most important rule is this: never let your power rest entirely in another's hands. No matter how much she admires you today, admiration fades the moment dependency replaces respect. The man who surrenders his independence for comfort signs his own downfall. He taught that the surest way to remain in control is to maintain a parallel life, a realm of pursuits, friendships, and ambitions that exist outside her influence. This creates a constant reminder that you are a whole man, not a project to be shaped or a resource to be drained. When she sees that she cannot touch every part of you, she instinctively respects what remains untouchable. Your value comes not from what you give her, but from the reality that you choose what to give, and when. This choice is the essence of power. Without it, you are no longer a leader in the relationship. You are a subject, and subjects get ruled. Machiavelli's trick, at its core, is not about playing games for the sake of games. It is about keeping the throne secure. Test before you trust, withdraw before you beg, lead before you follow. Every move reinforces the truth that you are not replaceable because you are not accessible on demand. A man who understands this does not live in fear of betrayal. He reads the signs, acts early, and maintains control not through force, but through the quiet dominance of choice. And when a woman knows she cannot strip your power, she will either respect it or remove herself. Either outcome leaves you standing, sovereign, and untouched. The throne is yours. Guard it as if the kingdom depends on it, because it does. You now hold the weapon Machiavelli used to outmaneuver rulers, rivals, and every subtle power play live through him. But remember, knowing the strategy means nothing if you do not live it. Guard your independence. Pass every test. Keep your throne. If this lesson sharpened your mind, the Inner Citadel has many more waiting for you. Subscribe now, turn on the bell, and step deeper into the fortress of power that no one can breach. Your throne deserves nothing less. This is the Brotherhood. See you in the next one.